Today's story is David and Goliath from 1 Samuel chapter 17. God's people had some scary enemies, but the Philistines were the scariest of them all. And now the Philistines had come to fight them. The Philistines had a secret weapon, Goliath. Goliath was a terrifying soldier, and worst of all, he was a giant. A giant so strong and so tall and so scary. Can you make a scary face? So scary that no one had ever been able to fight him and live to tell about it. So there they were, the Philistines standing on top of one hill and God's people standing on top of the other. And every day, Goliath would come out and he would shout, "Send your best soldier to fight me. If he wins, we will be your slaves. But if I win, you will be our slaves." No one spoke. No one moved. "Chickens," Goliath bellowed. "Your God can't save you. I'll rip your heads off and have them on toast." And he stared at them from behind his helmet with his angry little eyes, as if he might really gobble them up at any moment. And he laughed, his terrible laugh. Ha, ha, ha! Can you do a big laugh? Ha, ha, ha! And it boomed around the valley. God's people froze with fear. They were terrified. They knew if they didn't do something quick, if someone didn't save them, but God would do something. He would send someone to save them. A young boy named David, who was just a shepherd boy. His older brothers were in the army, and one day he brought them their lunch. And he saw how everyone was really scared, and he said, "Don't be afraid, I'll fight for you." Now, the king said, "But you're just a little shepherd boy, and Goliath is a great soldier. How will you fight him?" And David said, "God will help me." So the king gave David his royal armor to wear, but it was too heavy and too big, and David couldn't even walk. "I won't need this," David said. Instead, he picked out 5 smooth stones from the river. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then he walked out to meet Goliath. Step, step, step. Goliath walked towards David. Thud, thud, thud. "You?" Goliath peered down at the small boy. "I'm little," David shouted, "but God is great." "Ha ha ha ha!" Goliath laughed his terrible laugh. "With just one swing of my giant sword, I could finish you off." But David kept going. "It isn't how strong you are or how many swords and spears you have that will save you. It is God who saves you. This is God's battle, and God always wins his battles." David picked out a stone, put it in his sling, and swung it around. And he let it go. Thud! Goliath staggered and stumbled, and then, boom, he fell dead. When the Philistines saw Goliath was dead, they ran away. And when God's people saw them running away, they cheered. Woo! God had saved his people. David was a hero. Yay! Many years later, God would send his people another young hero to fight for them and to save them. But this hero would fight the greatest battle the world has ever known. Thanks for joining us. Check out the description for questions and a game idea to defeat your own Goliath.